The world abounds in change through man's ability.
Oh, man.
How we holding up?
Yeah.
Turd.
Yeah, no, it's been a slog.
Yeah.
It has been a wild week, huh?
Yeah. Just existing has been a little bit of a chore lately.
Nazis.
Fucking Nazis. Illinois Nazis, Washington Nazis, Florida Nazis, Nazi gumbo, Nazi pot pie, Nazi on a stick.
I know I told Josh about it, but
I'm glad we don't have ads on this podcast.
Yeah,
We'd be demonetized already.
well, we start our show with Nazis. We don't like them, but we start our show talking about them nonetheless.
Nazis make money.
I think even Squarespace would be like,
ads.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I told Josh about it, but the new James Gunn show, Creature Commandos, it's like the first property for this new DC, his view of the DC movie universe. It's basically Suicide Squad, but with monsters, like not people.
like there's not people in it.
Well, I mean, it's animated.
Okay,
But like Frankenstein's bride is one of the people on the team, and then there's like a mer person who's on the team, and then there's a weasel dude who's on the team. So like the premise is like Suicide Squad got shut down by the government, but Amanda Waller's like, well, they said no humans, but they didn't say non-humans, so it's the strike force made up of all non-humans. And one of I just threw it on for background noise while I was painting minis. And it ended up being like really good. Like first two episodes were just like back, and then all of a sudden the James Gunn kicked in. And I was like, oh, this is actually really good. Like once they got through the first two episodes, each episode after that was like, it progresses the story, but it also shows you the background of that character and how they ended up in their situation.
Nice. I like when they do shit like that.
Yeah. And the Weasel character is just like,
Confused about the Weasel character.
it's just Weasel.
The first two people that you mentioned were like clearly patterned off of
something
like Universal
Yeah.
monsters, and then it's just Weasel guy.
Yeah. He's just he was in the second the James Gunn Suicide Squad movie. There's just this Weasel character. He was the only survivor of that movie, I think. But like, it's just like a human-sized weasel. And he's just like,
He's not even like a dude that's like a weasel. He's
just like a weasel that is like an anthropomorphic weasel, but like he doesn't talk or anything. He's just a weasel, right?
I would be so allergic to that guy.
Yeah. But his episode was like fucking heartbreaking. I was like, God damn it, James Gunn.
Aww.
Of course you did this shit. But the episode that really captured my imagination, it was fantastic. And actually I've seen it make the rounds over the last week over current situations. There's a character called G.I. Robot. And it's fucking fantastic because he was built for World War II, but he was built to fight Nazis. But he was built in the 40s, so like a robot, sci-fi robot in the 40s, his programming is I kill Nazis. Mm-hmm. So like the whole time,
there's not a whole lot of nuance.
No, like the whole time he's it's not Alan. No, it's not Alan Tudyk. I forget who voices him. But the whole time he's just walking around going like, "Is that a Nazi, sir?" No, that's not a Nazi. No, oh, there's Nazis. So then he, turns on the guns and everything. But then the war ends, and he gets, they're like, "Yeah, this is." They give him like a medal or some shit, but then they just kind of put him in storage because he's a robot. And he gets traded down through the years.
So he's just like still kicking around.
Well, he's not like even on at that. They shut him off.
Okay.
He's just like a collector's item.
Okay.
And it gets to our current time, and he gets bought by a collector, a guy who likes World War II memorabilia, And he figures out how to turn them on. And he turns them on. And he's like, I'm going to take you down to... He's like, yeah. And he's like, you just assume this guy is friends with him. And he's like, we're going to go meet some of my friends. And he takes them into this hall with all these dudes in it. And he's like, I got some friends you want to meet. You hear him talking to his buddy. He's like, yeah, I got him working, and I want him to think he's going to be helpful to our cause. And then the robot starts looking around, and he sees 88 tattooed on one guy's neck and white power. And this fucking great scene where like they have the meeting and the curtains open. This big swastika, and the robot just goes, oh boy, Nazis. And he just fucking mows down the entire thing. And the best part is the soundtrack, because it's James Gunn, is, what's their name? The song Coin Operated Boy.
Oh.
Fuck.
What the fuck is their name?
It's that song. Well,
It's not Steam Powered Giraffe.
No. It's... God, it's been like at the top of my fucking YouTube ever since. But yeah, that song plays as he's just mowing down Nazis.
Dresden Dolls.
Yes, Dresden Dolls. That's fucking fantastic. Absolutely, just fucking fantastic scene.
What's it called?
Creature Commandos.
Okay.
Yeah, that cast is fucking loaded.
Yeah, it is.
Sean Gunn, James Gunn's brother.
He plays Weasel.
Okay.
He plays G.I. Robot.
Oh, does he?
Yeah.
He also played...
He also voices Weasel.
Yeah.
Indira Varma, Alan Tudyk.
Tudyk. Dr.
David
Foster.
Harbour.
Mm-hmm.
Maria Bakalova.
Oh yeah, Harbour as Frankenstein's monster was really good too, because he's like an obsessed ex-boyfriend. So all he wants to do is get back to win the Bride of Frankenstein back because she was built for him. But she's like, no, you killed because he kills Frankenstein, the doctor. And she's like, no, you killed the only person that ever showed me any kindness.
That'll put a damper on your relationship for sure.
Yeah, it was really, really good. I was not expecting to enjoy it as much as I did.
God, speaking of Dresden Dolls, Neil Gaiman's having
Ooh, yeah.
a bad couple of months.
Yeah, he should have checked out.
That one hurt.
I know, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that one actually fucking hurt.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, oh, not you, Neil.
Right.
And somehow I'm not even surprised. I should expect that generation just...
But his shit was all like, okay, so I'm not in any way, shape, or form like condoning somebody getting in trouble, like saying like, oh, but that was years ago and shit. Like, but yeah, I always hope that like, okay, it's been long enough that like maybe they've changed, maybe they've realized the error of their ways or something.
I don't know.
But that shit was current, right? His shit was current.
Yeah.
Like real recent.
Yeah, so.
And I was going to say, like, statements he's made since are very no bueno.
Right. Because that, like, sometimes when I hear that shit, I'm like, oh, man, it sucks that they were shitty back then. I hope they're not still like that now. Typically they are. But, like, there's that hope that, like, but then again, like, well, if they change, you think they would have done something to make amends for it and it wouldn't have come out like it does.
Right. Yeah.
So even then, it's not great. Yeah, that's...
That's one of the few guys that I say, like, everything he's put out, I've enjoyed.
Uh-huh.
And there it is.
Who's the comic? There's another comic guy that I really like that. Warren Ellis. I always loved everything Warren Ellis did, and it turns out he was like complete and utter piece of shit. Like he's not even getting work anymore, I don't think. But yeah, I think it's like, I don't know, man. Some people are just terrible. Even if they're geniuses.
Well, thanks for listening, everybody.
Sorry, I got distracted by trying to download this series.
I wish I could just pull this shit up on my phone. Man, fucking NZBIN. I forget what their actual site is called, or if it is just NZBIN.
I think so.
Man, they took the old site down, they rebuilt it, and it is fucking ass.
Oh, they're not done rebuilding it.
Mm. Oh, really? It's like a work in progress.
Yeah, so like it's terrible right now. They were planning to do this big relaunch, and then the main guy died.
Oh,
if you read the post, so they're like,
I hope he was the guy that banned me. I hope that guy's fucking dead. The guy who banned me from what is, in the grand scheme of things, a very inconsequential website. Yeah, I hope that guy's dead.
So they had to restore backups, and they were like, he was going to do all the work, so that's why it's so problematic right now. Like cart features aren't down, you can't sort by date, all kinds of. They just haven't implemented things.
That feels like something you want to have working before you launch it.
Yeah, I mean, they said this is a beta launch, but
that's why I was wondering, like, why wouldn't they leave the site up that actually works?
Yeah, that's what happened. It was like
it's
they couldn't
like
get.
Weeks now.
Yeah, they couldn't get to the site to administer it because the main guy passed away, I guess.
Okay.
So they're like, okay, I guess we're launching now.
That sucks.
Yeah, I mean, the way I used to just go get movies was I'd, sort by like the current year to see what new shit has actually come out, and you can't sort by the year anymore. So it's just everything that's uploaded.
It's like fucking Supernova back in 2002.
That was not a good time. We thought it was at the time.
Yeah. Yeah, we really thought things were... How could things get any better than this?
That was rough.
I started trying to look around for another source, but like everything's pay. And I don't want to sign up for something that I don't know.
Drunken Slug.
Use
it. That, I mean, you might...
need an invite, but I'm sure we both have invites available.
Yeah, that actually I turned off all my R apps. I took NZBIN out of there because I had to, but now everything
it was just fucking up.
No, because it immediately re-downloaded every single one of my movies and got my API access banned. So and I was like, yeah, can't. They were like, yeah, this is like the second time this has happened. We're not. I was like, I guess I can't argue with that.
I was looking at like people like trading and buying and selling invites for indexers, and like Drunken Slug invites are like $10-$20. NZBs.in is like 120.
Wow.
And if you can get one for OMG WTF NZBs, which you can't, but if you can, it's like $250.
Damn.
Like, and everybody on the subreddit, the Usenet subreddit and like the indexer subreddit, whenever somebody asks, they're like, so the like two big like indexers that don't want people to talk about them, which is WTF and IN. Like, what am I missing out on? And most people are like, not that much really. If you've got Drunken Slug and NZB Geek, you're covered. Like,
pretty
much covered.
Unless you're just looking for stuff that's like obscure.
Yeah, and that's the problem because I am.
Yeah, I know, right? Yeah, like typically you can find it on there when you can't find it anywhere else. But
there was a mini-series from British TV from the 1970s that I really wanted to download, and there are 7 episodes, and I was able to get 6 of them, but there was only one download for each episode between both of the indexes. And one of the episodes failed, and the rest of them were fine. Ugh. And I'm like, I have to try to track down episode 5 out of 7? Fuck. And it wasn't on anything else.
I don't know how that technology actually works. Like
how they index the NZBs.
Yeah, but having a secondary... Like, I have my account through news hosting, and then I paid for, like, I don't know, a terabyte as a backup. And, like, all of a sudden stuff stopped failing. So, like, I don't know how it works. So it's like, oh, it's missing on news hosting. I'm going to look on here.
Yeah.
And it was there. I don't know how it works. So I don't know what that means, but
Yeah, I've had.
I have a lot of failures on Drunken Slug though,
Yeah,
because it's kind of a.
I do
dumping
tend to
ground.
lean more on Geek
Yeah.
for downloads. I don't have like anything set up to like monitor the performance of each one, but like I've noticed when I do it manually that if it fails, it usually is Drunken Slug. Unfortunately, sometimes though Geek just doesn't have it, and Slug will.
Yeah, I don't know how all that works. I don't, you know, what's the pipeline for?
For like how it gets from the streaming site to
Well,
Usenet,
yeah,
or-
how something premieres to it hits piracy. I always wonder that. Like, what's first?
I feel like most of it is like scene releases, where like the scene groups
Yeah.
will like rip it and encode it, and then people leak because they don't upload to Usenet. The scene groups.
So that's all like torrents.
It's
do you
all
think?
like torrents on
Torrents
private trackers
first?
that are just for their releases.
Yeah.
And then they'll be like, you're not allowed to put these releases anywhere else, but then everybody does, and that's how it ends up there. I think
Okay.
that's how most of it ends up working.
I mean, the speed at which that happens is crazy. Because like I'll get a show like from Usenet like sometimes 10 minutes after it airs, and it's not like
and we're talking like
it's not because
it airs
like,
on the other side of the world.
yes,
at
yeah,
midnight,
yeah,
and you
yeah.
get it
Like,
at 12
I got I remember having the Doctor Who 50th, which aired at a specific time worldwide, like 10-15 minutes after it aired.
I don't know how you encode something though.
I know, right?
Like, are you
could-
using
you mu-
quantum computing to encode your video files?
I mean, it must have been a straight. For that, it has to be a straight capture and not even a re-encode of some
Yes,
sort.
but like we're talking like HEVC,
I mean, that
which
was.
takes longer to encode.
Well, how long ago was that too, though? 50th was like 10 years ago.
It was a while. Yeah, so that probably would have been 264.
Yeah, so it was probably a straight. I don't know how. I don't know. Magical.
For sure. I've been really focusing on, like, whenever I download a show, I try like hell to get the. I think I mentioned this in the previous thing.
we
Like,
talked about
Me
that.
Gusta is the
Yeah.
one that I always try to get because, like, they always have subtitles and they focus on lower file size.
Yeah.
So, like, everybody else's, even their HEVC rip will be at least a gig per episode, and theirs is like 300-400 megs, and it looks just as good. Unless you're like comparing side by side, doing an A/B on a frame.
Yeah, of course.
But they miss episodes. There'll be a 10-episode season, and they'll just not do episode 5. And then like the next season comes out, and for some reason they just don't do episode 5 of that one either. It's fucking weird.
I don't understand that.
Yeah. If you're gonna do it, and I'm guessing that they automate it to some extent, and then like things will get missed. But like that, like consistently,
Yeah.
I don't know.
That is really. I would love to know what it's like and what do they do in those groups.
I
Like in
thought
the
about
actual-
volunteering
You
to
know?
help just to find out.
Yeah, right? Like, I would. I don't.
Like break into the criminal underworld.
Yeah,
of
like,
video
I'd really
piracy.
rather not get taken down by the copyright police because I'm not clever enough to cover my tracks well. But, like,
Well, I mean, that's a good way to learn how to cover your tracks well, I guess.
get caught?
No.
Oh,
No, like start working with one of the major
Oh, yeah.
release groups. They'll be like, okay, this is what you need to do so
Yeah.
you don't go to jail.
yeah. How not to get caught? Well, get caught and don't do it again. Everything you did, don't do any of it.
I was telling Doug before he got here about well, I know it's come up on the show in the past, like how incompetent the sleep apnea place was.
Uh-huh.
Like how impossible it was to reach them. And,
Yeah.
you know, be like, all right, just give us a call if this doesn't work, and you know, no one would ever get back. Well, I'd been emailing the lady who gave me her email, and she never got back to me. So at a certain point, I was like, you know what? Fuck it, I'm done with this. But then like 2 months later, I was like, all right, I have this appointment coming up with the doctor. I should make an effort to, like, get all this shit back on track.
Yeah, because
So-
that shit's it's reporting through the internet your results to them.
I ain't even plugged in, so they ain't getting shit.
Well, they're going to be like, I don't have anything from you, so clearly you haven't been.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, I tried emailing the lady again, and when I didn't hear back for a couple days, I just messaged my doctor, and I was like, look, I have this appointment with you in like a month now. I can't get in touch with anyone. Okay, I've tried calling this place. No one's returning anything. You know, lady gave me her email. She's not getting back to me. The supplier is like, yeah, we'll have them get in touch with you. No one's getting back to me. I don't know what to do. Should I just cancel this because you're not going to have any data? And like 2 days later, the supplier calls me, and my insurance is also on the phone. So I'm like,
They called in with a conference call?
yeah.
Okay.
Like, oh, a doctor yelled at someone. Well, it turns out the place like down the road from me, they just shut down. They packed up and moved, and I mean they're gone from like the Young's medical whatever system altogether. So that's a big reason that no one was ever getting back to me. But it's also like, hey, why when this happened?
Why wasn't I notified?
Yeah.
Like, it feels like you have to let your patients know what's happening. Like,
Yeah.
that feels like it's like a thing that's like a law,
Yeah.
right?
Should be, right?
You'd think.
Yeah, so, you know, this guy, like, he's trying to send me, like, the same mask that doesn't fit. I'm like, no, I've been trying to tell you guys for months that I need a mask fitting because, you know, they sent me this small thing that doesn't even cover my mouth.
That's not going to do it.
Yeah.
So he finally puts in, like, resupply some of the equipment and to schedule me for a fitting. And the place tries to schedule me. That's not calling me back.
Oh my god.
So
baby.
I had to, like, call the resupplier again and be like, hey, I need to know what's going on here. And finally they were like, all right, we'll set you up in our system. I'm like, why didn't you fucking do that
Yeah,
to
exactly.
begin with?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, right?
Give me the address, which is a place, like, right down the road from here. I go there, you know, I follow the GPS. And the GPS takes me right up this little tiny ass 1-lane road. And I pass it over this rickety little bridge. It was like aluminum over a creek. And I get to the end, and there's a fence. And the place is like in a parking lot way over on the other side behind this fence. And there's a house to my right with a driveway, but the driveway is also fenced. So if this is the lane, including the driveway, I've got like this much extra space to turn around. Because I'm like, okay, do I trust myself to go in reverse over this tiny ass bridge and not
As
fall in the creek?
Fucking slow as possible.
So no,
Like, I would go like an inch an hour.
instead, I make like a 20-point turn.
God, yeah, I probably would have too.
Maneuver around this road. I keep driving up the snow embankment because it was like 2 days after that big snow.
Oh, Jesus. Wow.
Holy
I
shit.
come out of there and I go around and I turn in one way and I drive back. It's like, oh, okay, there's not a pathway back to that place here. How the fuck am I going to get there? So I drove out of there and I drove into the next business and turned. Man, it took me like 3 businesses to find the right
And it's after the
path.
snow, so
Yeah.
you can't even cut across the grass. Like, that's what I would do. I would just say fuck it and just drive across the grass and be
Yeah.
like, I don't know, nobody's watching me now.
Yeah. Oh my god.
And I get back there, and the guy's like, yeah. I mean, the guy was fine, but then I asked him, like, so, if this doesn't work, how do I get in touch with you guys to, fix things, find something that does work? Because your other place that was, like, out in Harrisburg was terrible about that. Didn't have a number I could call. Didn't respond to their emails. It's like, well, just come on in. It's like, are you sure? He's like, yeah, if someone's here ahead of you, you're going to have to wait. But if you just come in,
I thought you were saying if someone's here to see you, like sometimes we're just not here, but you can come in.
No, sometimes they just aren't there because my appointment was at 1:00, and I showed up.
Out to lunch.
Bang on the door because they were out at lunch. That there was one person working the door. And I sat there for like 10 minutes. The guy was like, "Oh yeah, they'll be back from lunch soon."
I think I know what business we need to get into, guys. We need to do like a sleep apnea place because apparently you don't even
This is
have
medical
to do anything.
supplies. The medical supply.
Oh, we could start up. You need a medical supply.
Yeah.
There was an old ass man in there. He had to be like mid-80s, and he was pissed because I guess his wife got a wheelchair, and he's like, "You got to be like an elephant to lift and move that thing." And you could tell the guy at the desk was like, just fucking over this guy at this point because like, yeah, well we send out the wheelchairs according to the size of the patient.
It's not the wheelchair, homie. It's your big ass wife.
And the guy's like, "Why are there only 2 things on this paper to return when I have 3 things that need to return or need returned?" Yeah, and the guy's like, "Whatever that 3rd thing is, just keep it. It's free. It's yours." Okay. He's like,
If it's not on there, we don't know it's missing. So
"Can I get that in writing?" He's like, "It's in the system. Okay, it's yours. It's free. It's complimentary."
Get watch. There.
Like, this guy's just pissed.
when you said there was like an old ass guy that was pissed, I thought you meant that it was somebody who worked there who had to let you in, and he was mad because he had to get up.
Like the janitor.
Yeah. He's like, "Damn it, I'm trying to read my comics over here.
I'm horny.
Come on in, I guess fucking sit down. I'll have to wipe the goddamn chair off when you're done."
Yeah, I still haven't even got the box of the resupply shit in the mail yet, so I can't use the mask they gave me.
Jesus Christ.
It's been a fucking week. Like, I mean, of course we got the Nazis in charge now.
Yeah.
But also, like, last Wednesday, my dad gets back from this appraisal he went out on. And he just, like, he comes downstairs and he's got his coat on. He's got, like, a towel around his head. He's just all bundled up. And I'm thinking, like, man, he looks fucking gray. And he plops down. He's like, "I'm sick." It's like, all right, I'm just going to let you over there being sick while I'm here working. And yeah, we got an order in, and I pulled it off, and then there was something I had to copy. So I was like, "What do you want me to use to copy this?" And he's just like mumbling and slurring his words. Like, "Oh, this isn't."
Yeah.
But I'm like, okay, his fever's 102, so I'm like, he's probably just kind of out of it. Maybe he just needs some rest. I'll let him do that. Fortunately, Kathy came over.
You never thought you'd say that shit,
I've
right?
never heard those words. Not in that order.
And she was like, "No, you got to go to urgent care, like, right now." So they left to go to urgent care, and then she called me, and she's like, "Oh, we're just going to the ER. He wants to go to the hospital instead."
Yeah.
And now his oxygen was dipping down to like 85.
Oof. It's supposed to be like 95.
Yeah. But because, like, the radiation stuff he's had, like, I think, like, 92, 93 is, like,
Yeah,
his
right, because he has
baseline.
that long shit.
Yeah. But no, I mean, he got in there, they hooked him up to oxygen, and you got, like, the one ER doc who's, like, freaking out. He's like, oh, you have COPD, you have emphysema, how are you not walking around with oxygen on you at all times? And my dad's like, no one's ever told me any of this shit.
Yeah.
No, I don't. And then you got the other doctor that comes in, he's like, I don't know what the guy was talking about. Like, yeah, you have health stuff, but...
Why are we so fucked?
That happened with my mom, too. Like, she had just, like, a Medicare wellness thing at her doctor's appointment, and everybody was, like, trying to talk to her about diabetes, and she's like, nobody told me I'm diabetic. And then her doctor came, and she's like, you're not diabetic. She's like, well, they were, like, trying to do all that. She was like, yeah, your blood sugar level is pre-diabetic now. Like, today, it's never been there before, and I'll talk to you about it, but you're not diabetic.
Mm-hmm.
It's like...
My dad went through that for years.
Mm-hmm.
They'd come in and be like, all right, well, we want to get you on this because of your diabetes. I'm like, I'm not diabetic.
Yeah.
And this year his doctor finally put him on, what's that one where they fucking, like, dance in the fountain on TV? Jardians.
Yes. I know what you're talking about.
They're like, Jardians may cause gangrene. Nuts.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, they're
that's
dancing
the
around
one.
a
Yeah.
maypole.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, okay.
But, no, so, like, the one doctor came in, he's like, so you seem okay now, but we can't let you out of here with your oxygen like this, so we're going to keep you overnight. Because he was concerned it was, like, a heart attack or something.
Sure.
Because he had that heart surgery
Especially being
years ago.
gray and shit.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Did they put him on oxygen?
They put him on oxygen. He was there the one night, and he had, like, a fever that came down, but his oxygen, they still kept, like, taking him on and off of it. And then, I guess, he was kind of fine that Thursday. And I went up to see him then, and they were like, well, we're still going to keep you overnight so we can run an,
Echo?
what is Echo?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
But if everything's fine, we'll send you home tomorrow. And everything came back fine, so he's looking forward to going home Friday. Except his oxygen dips overnight.
Jeez.
So that morning, like, they're like, okay, we want to keep you another night to do a sleep study on you. And he's like, why do I need a sleep study? It's like, well, your oxygen dipped overnight, so we think you might have sleep apnea. I don't have fucking sleep apnea.
And you're like, I don't know, I do.
It turned into a whole other thing where he's like, once you're in here, they just want to find something wrong with you. It's like, well, they do want to keep running shit to get their
Yeah.
money.
I mean,
Yeah.
But-
yeah, they do.
We don't know what landed you here.
Yeah.
But, I mean, they went back and forth to the point that there's like, all right, your oxygen is stable now, so we will release you. Because, like, he still didn't want to just, like, walk out there and have insurance turn around and
Yeah.
go, hey, buddy, fuck you.
Yeah.
Jeez.
You declined treatment, so now we don't have to cover what you did get.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kind of deal. Yeah.
And he was like, I'll talk to my doctor on Monday and have him, set up a sleep thing if I need it. Well, Monday comes around. He's like, I don't have sleep apnea. I don't want a sleep study.
I mean, it's a pain in the ass
it's
to do.
like, oh, it is. I must have slept like 20 minutes when I had mine done.
Ugh.
But yeah, that was a fucking
Mm-hmm.
hell of a week.
Yeah.
And then it's got me all fucking weird. Like, I started getting like shorter breath. And I'm like, am I short of breath because I'm fat? Or did something happen to my heart? Or
Right.
like lungs or something?
Or is it just stress?
It's anxiety.
Yeah, like, is it stress? I'm not having like panic attacks, but I mean,
you never know what it's gonna,
Right.
how it's gonna present either.
Like, I'll be in the shower
Yeah.
and I'll be washing and I'll be like, shit, why am I kind of breathing right now?
Uh-huh.
Mm.
I think
Or
it's
I'll walk out to the kitchen and I'll come back to my room and I'll be like, what?
Like a little winded?
Yeah.
Mm.
So, like, I started exercising, like hitting the treadmill and everything, and
Sure.
I'll walk 20 minutes fine. You breathe heavy because you're fat,
Yeah.
but like
Right.
I don't feel like I'm fighting for air, and I'll check my oxygen and my levels are good, like 95, 99.
Huh.
But yeah, I don't fucking know. It's got me all weirded out, and I say that after eating a bag of Cheetos, which I know isn't the heart healthy
Are they
food
flaming
of
hot?
the year. Yeah.
That doesn't count then. That's a vegetable.
It's sad that it probably is classified as a vegetable. Yeah, it's puff corn. That counts.
Yeah,
It's technically corn.
That anxiety's a motherfucker. Like
Yeah.
I'm not on. I got weaned off the meds I was on for it, but whew, man, that shit'll manifest in different ways and pop up out of nowhere.
Mm-hmm.
And like, I gotta hope that's all it is.
Yeah,
Because it's been a weird fucking couple of days. And like, as stressed as I was, did something happen and I didn't realize it?
Right.
yeah, true. Yeah,
But I mean, I see my doctor in a month, so when I get there, I'll be
yeah,
like, hey,
right.
if I make it there. If I don't, I mean, look at the world I'm living in.
It wasn't all that long ago that the only time you'd see a Nazi was in a video game, and your job in the video game was to shoot them. So
Yeah, it's... You would think that was like the perfect training.
and then all of a sudden it was like, is it actually okay to punch Nazis? And you're like,
Yeah,
yeah, it is.
Yeah, it is.
It always has been.
yep.
It's like, is that a hypothetical?
Yeah,
Like, why are we asking this question? I thought that was part of the definition of a Nazi.
yeah.
But, free speech, that counts Nazis too, right? Well, yes, but no.
I mean, ask Henry Rollins what he thinks about it.
Yes, you know what? Yes, free speech. They can say that. They can absolutely say and do all their Nazi shit, and they should be punished accordingly for it.
Yep. They can say it, and then they can take a fist to the teeth.
Yep.
Sorry.
Mm-hmm.
Not sorry.
Nope, I'm sorry. I grew up, we went to punk shows. We know what to do when Nazis show up.
You gotta nip that shit in the bud.
It's fucking wild, man.
I forget who told that story. Did we ever talk about that? There was a famous story that was somebody told about, like, they went... Oh, you know what? It might have even just been a Reddit post. But they went to this, like, divey kind of bar. And there wasn't anybody in there except for the bartender. And he was like, it's the kind of place where you can tell the bartender fucking hates you the moment you walk
Yeah.
in.
Mm.
But, like, got me a drink, and I was drinking it. And this other dude comes in and sits down. And the bartender immediately just goes, no. Out. And the guy's like, what do you mean? I'm just coming in for a drink. He's like, no. And reaches down behind the bar and gets out a sawed-off shotgun and is just like, out. Now. And the guy's like, all right, man, fuck you. And he storms out, and the guy's like, what was up with that? He's like, you didn't get a good look at this guy, but the shit he was wearing on his jacket was like Nazi shit. And you see those guys come in, you have to immediately nip it in the bud.
Otherwise, you're
and
the
get
Nazi
him the
bar.
fuck out.
Yeah.
Because, yeah, he might seem like a reasonable guy. He's just coming in for a drink. He might be fine. And then he brings another guy with him. And that guy might seem fine. And then they bring some other friends. And those friends start bringing friends. And they're not
Suddenly
okay.
you got a Nazi bar.
And
Yeah.
all of a sudden, oh shit, we're the Nazi bar. And then you can't get rid of them because they're entrenched. So, nope. You got to pull a gun and tell them to get the fuck out of your bar. And I've never not thought about that. I think about that story like at least a couple of times a week.
I saw a post on Reddit the other day where a old lady and her husband, came into, I guess it was like antique shop or something, to get something like cleaned up and restored. So they call the guy out there to take a look at it, tell him how much it's going to cost when they can have it back. And he takes a look at it, and he is like, no, not going to do it. Get out. Because they wanted him to restore some Nazi thing.
Mm-hmm.
And he was just flat out like,
We
no,
don't do that.
We don't do this Nazi shit.
Mm-hmm.
And they didn't fight him about it. They're just like, okay, bye. Which is like, okay, they damn well knew.
Yeah, they knew exactly what it was.
I mean, somebody who's going to turn you down flat that fast,
Mm-hmm.
you try to fight them on it,
Yeah.
they might fucking come at you.
Yeah.
So, like, smart on their part.
Nobody's going to take your side.
No!
I mean, maybe now they will, but
I mean, if they're going to take your side, though, they're not going to turn you down at first. And
No,
then
I
be
mean,
like,
like,
oh,
if-
okay.
yeah, but like if you're gonna like raise a stink about it, nobody's taking your side on that.
Oh, all I wanted him to do was restore my Nazi shit.
Yeah, nobody's gonna be like, yeah, restores Nazi shit. You're a business.
I think Casey might have seen that video because I heard some audio and the guy was like, we don't do, like, I'll denazify stuff.
Yeah,
But I
I
won't
won't
restore
renazify.
it. Yeah.
I was not.
I was like,
that.
that's catchy.
That's good. It was not Nazi really. I saw a clip that cracked me up. It was like an antique roadshow or something, and this lady, she's got this metal band, and it has a name on her great great grandparents' name on it, and then a name below it that's like, I don't know, Jethro. And they're like, what do you think what do you have here? And she's like, well, I don't know, but I think this is a slave band. And that's my great grandparents' names, and that's the slave's name. And I think they freed a slave. He's like, okay.
Oh yeah.
He's like,
I think they freed a slave.
yeah, I think that's they had a slave and they freed him. And the guy goes, no, it's a dog collar. Oh,
I remember that.
This is just a very old dog.
Yeah. Which, like, if they had a slave with their name on it, then they own that slave.
Right.
So, like, they didn't free him.
Yeah. like if it was a slave collar,
Right.
it's wishful thinking that you're like, oh, and I think they freed him.
Yeah. They owned him because, you know, they bought him, put their slave collar on him as to not arouse suspicion that they were going to free this slave.
And then immediately freed him.
Yeah.
And kept the collar.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. Okay. That makes perfect sense.
No, lady. Your grandparents had a dog. They probably owned slaves, too.
Grandparents had a dog. This is worth about $50 to a collector.
It's not. It's kind of cool, but like, no.
Oh my
That
god.
was like my dumbass when we moved into our house in Vine Street, and in the front, like under the porch, on the like if you're facing out on the right, that the two windows that are like under the porch, the one on the right is where the oil tank is to
Okay.
get refilled, and in there's a wall with like blackboard. I think it's like blackboard paint or some shit. There's like slate, and the kids that lived in the house before like had chalk on it. And then my dumbass for like a while assumed that it was for teaching slaves. I was like 8.
I was going to say, how old were you?
I was like 8, yeah. I
yeah.
was like, that's probably for teaching
Our house
slaves.
was a stop on the Underground Railroad.
Yeah. Yeah, like why did I nobody said a fucking thing. I just made that up and
Yeah.
then made it canon for like until I went back
I
in
never
that room.
mentioned it to anybody.
Until I went back
obviously.
into that room and I was like, you fucking idiot. Because, yeah, it's Middletown, so
Kids do think some dumb shit.
they do. Middletown is such a stop on the Underground Railroad.
Yeah, right. Do you know about NutraSweet?
I don't know anything newsworthy about them. I know that they're a thing.
I have a personal story about
Uh-oh.
NutraSweet.
Oh boy.
So back in the day, there was a commercial for NutraSweet. When
Okay.
It was like new. They were trying to market it, and the commercial said, "NutraSweet is an artificial sweetener, but it's made of the same stuff as bananas and milk," which is, you know, how they used to market synthetic chemical compounds back in the
Right.
day. It's like, well, I mean, you could get this out of bananas and milk. It's like, yeah, you could. You could also get like arsenic out of a
Yeah.
fucking apple. So you don't want to eat it.
Yeah.
But I thought, because I was a dumb little autistic kid, that meant that bananas and milk in a bowl was called NutraSweet. So my mom would try to get me to eat, and I'd be like, no, I want NutraSweet. And she'd be like, what? The fuck did you just say to me? And I'm like, Mom, I want to eat NutraSweet right now. And she'd be like, what do you mean you want to eat NutraSweet? And eventually she goes like, what do you think NutraSweet is? And I was like, it's bananas and milk. Like on the commercial. And she's like, uh-huh. So she slices
Because I'm
up
sure
a
she
banana.
had never paid attention to the commercial in her life.
I mean, she probably really didn't take notice.
You know,
of
like
it.
she heard it
But
in
like
one ear and
once
out the other. But for you,
once, oh yeah, no, I latched onto that
Yeah.
shit. I was like, oh, this is the new taste sensation that's sweeping the nation. I want to eat NutraSweet. So she slices up a banana in a bowl and pours milk on it and hands it to me with a spoon, and I ate that shit right up. And for like a while, that's all I wanted to eat was NutraSweet. That's the dumb shit kids think. Yep.
I forget what came up. Somebody said something about banana. Oh, that's what it was. We were watching Dateline one night, and this lady was trying to kill her husband. Well,
Now I know you're old.
oh, my wife's she's a hardcore Dateline person.
Okay.
I mean, she's been 60 since.
Oh,
she's
wait, are
been
we
12.
talking about like recently though, or are you talking about when you were a kid?
We DVR it.
You DVR Dateline.
Yes. And we take Sunday naps and fall asleep to Dateline. So, yeah.
You guys are like 80.
Yeah.
Okay.
Kind of, yeah.
All right.
And she's been a
Hey,
Dateline fiend since.
I'm with it. Yeah.
Like-
that sounds great.
Yeah. She's in the murder. She's also terrified of everything outside the house sometimes. So,
Because she watches
yeah,
so much
maybe it's Law and Order, Daylight. So,
Law and Order just reassures her that she should be afraid to go outside.
yeah. It's just whatever. But there was this lady that was she was trying to explain why the guy she was fucking that killed her husband is to blame and not her. And his story was like he made some banana pudding with Nilla wafers and put arsenic in it, but she got cold feet, so that's why he shot her. And I looked at her, I was like, if you ever want to do me in, just put some... And they were like... And the point was like, well, he took it... She called him on his way to work. It was like, don't eat that banana pudding. I just had some and it's disgusting. So he didn't... That's like the story they told or whatever.
Mm.
And I looked at her, I was like, if you want to kill me, banana pudding and Nilla wafers with some arsenic in it, they'll do it. I was like, if I see that shit, I'm not waiting to find out if it's bad or not. That
Going
shit
right
is
down the gullet.
fucking delicious.
Might not even chew it.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
that is... I mean, I hopefully don't have to chew it, that the Nilla wafers have moistened up enough that it's just
Yeah.
mush.
You just
That's how I love it.
choke
Yeah.
it down like a snake. eating
Yes.
a rat.
That
Yeah.
shit is so good.
I think anybody listening at home can imagine the head movement that I did with that. I sometimes forget that we're recording.
Yeah,
And
right.
that anybody listening that wasn't here has no idea what's going on.
Speaking of getting old, we had a birthday in the house.
Yeah, we did. And it was a good one, you know why?
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 Because I turned 41. But when I woke up, I thought I turned 42. And my wife told me I turned 41.
Oh, you lost a year.
Yeah, it was fucking awesome.
Hell yeah. That's like finding a $20 bill in your
Yeah.
coat pocket.
Like, first thing I thought of when I like woke up, I was like, 42. And she goes, happy 41st. I was like, sweet.
Let's see. That would fuck with my head because I'd be like, did I live a year? Right? And it just like rewound.
Oh, man.
Well, I laid there and I was like, no, wait. And then I thought about it and I was like, all right. Last year, we did that thing for when I turned 40. So, yes, I'm 41. Last year was WrestleMania 40. So, yes, I'm 41 because this will be WrestleMania 41.
Did WrestleMania start the year you were born?
Yeah.
Wow.
That's a fucking easy way to remember for me.
Hell yeah. Wow.
That one year I was, when they weren't numbering them, that one year I was Texas years old. But then they started numbering them again, so we're all good then.
A weird year. How old are you, Texas? Got any NutraSweet?
Fucking, we go into the diner. I'm Texas years old. Can you get my friend some NutraSweet?
Like bring out the little packets, and you're
Yeah.
like, "No, I want the fresh stuff."
No. Don't put it in the packet. Like,
Just in a bowl. Yeah, I think that's how I learned to distrust advertising. Was NutraSweet. Because eventually they had to explain to me, NutraSweet's not actually bananas and milk.
Right.
Like, well, they said it was on TV, and
Yeah.
they're like, yeah, they said that.
yeah.
They made that shit in a lab.
I played a fun ass game recently.
Oh,
Anyone play Inscription?
yeah.
I just bought it. I haven't played it yet, though.
I have not finished it because it's cryptic as fuck.
Yeah,
but-
I'm trying to finish Final Fantasy VII Rebirth before I jump into some of my more indie stuff.
I won't get very into it then, but
I mean, I know the gist. It's a card game that opens up, and it's like less of a card game.
yeah, it kind of goes from like
It's like a survival horror, not survival horror, but like a cryptic horror.
It opens up in the same way that like a mass of spiders on
Yeah.
a tree opens up when you disturb them
Uh-huh.
and just kind of crawls away. Yeah.
I mean, there's 3 acts, and every act is a card game, but they just kind of change the style of the game. And it's really interesting. It's really cool. Like for the PlayStation, it started bringing cards out that were named after my friends. Like my
That's
friends
cool.
list.
That shit's awesome.
I was like, oh man, this is terrible.
That's
I have to
great.
kill,
That's
Yeah.
fucking cool.
But yeah, that's
Pulled a Metal Gear Solid on you.
Yeah.
a fun game.
See, that would be fun if it's like but if it's like fucking somebody that you matched with like eons ago,
Mm.
and like you're just like, oh, I don't even recognize the name.
I watched a playthrough.
That happened.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I watched a playthrough of Inscription where like these cards started showing up that were like clearly named by somebody or
Uh-huh.
named for somebody. And he's like, I don't know who these people are. Is it just giving me random people's cards like from other players?
Uh-huh.
Maybe. We don't really know, honestly. That was a very interesting game.
Yeah, I'm pretty hyped to play it.
I really enjoyed that.
I have been super duper enjoying UFO 50.
Okay.
I am in love with that game.
What is it? I
It's
think I've heard about it.
it's actually 50 games.
Oh yeah, you did explain that. Right,
Yeah.
and they were all small games. It's like Action 52, but like good games, or like full
They're
games.
50 games. Like they're all supposed to have come out in like the 80s and maybe early 90s. Like there's a chronology.
Yeah.
And they're all supposedly published and developed by the same company for this like fictional computer platform.
Got it.
Which somebody actually did design in 3D print and
Nice.
like make an actual like thing that runs the game.
Of course they did.
But like everything controls with D-pad and 2 buttons, and then there's like a start button that opens the menu, and
Yeah.
that's all the controls there are in anything. So it's all very simple. But like some of the games, especially the earlier ones, a lot of them are like it's like a tight strategy game.
Mhm.
Like you beat a certain number of levels and you've experienced the content that exists in that game.
Like a black box NES kind of game. Where like the goal is to
Maybe kind of not usually even that simple though. Like there's usually
Okay.
a little more meat to them
Okay.
than like a black box NES game. And like each game, when you beat it, the disc in the menu turns from blue to gold to yellow.
yeah.
But once you've done that, there's an extra thing in like the info pane about the game that tells you how to get the cherry card or the cherry disc or whatever, and it turns red once you get the cherry. The cherry is usually like a completionist thing.
Mhm.
It's like you've got to. There's one that's like kind of a tower defensey kind of thing. You beat all the levels, you get the gold card. You beat all the levels without taking any damage, you get the cherry card.
Got it.
There's all kinds of different genres. Most of the games mix genres. So there's one that's like, it's underwater, but it's also kind of like a Metroidvania. So it's like a Metroidvania shmup almost.
Okay.
There's a couple of strategy. Well, there's a few strategy games. There's a point and click adventure game. It's fantastic. There's
USO 50.
there's a lot of cohesion among the games. Like characters and stuff will show up from one game to another.
Oh, that's cool.
There are sequels. There's a game called Campanella. That there's also Campanella 2 and Campanella 3 that came out later on. Each one is a completely different game. Like the entire genre changes across that series.
Only $25 too.
Yeah, it's really reasonable. Super duper duper fun.
Yeah.
And like I've even just been like watching other people play it. There are certain streamers that have been playing an awful lot of it, and I will just put that on.
Yeah.
And just let it play through while I do whatever, because oh man, it's such a good experience. And I don't think I'm really going to be ruining anything by telling you that this is a thing. There's also kind of like an ARG bonus game in the game where like anytime you go into the menu, you can go into the console. And you can like put in a code, but like you don't have a code. But like you could find a code, and then it like sends you on a scavenger hunt that spans across all these games.
That's fun.
Yeah,
That's clever.
It's really
That's
cool,
cool.
and it like
Yeah.
gives you backstory on the company and like
That's fun.
Yeah,
Yeah. It's like the what are those? What's that company that's doing like Atari Gold Collection and shit? Did you see those? They're like Criterion Collection versions of Atari's
yeah,
stuff.
pretty neat.
Yeah, but it's like that, but like for a fictional
Yeah,
company. There's a game that I saw on a YouTube channel I watch on their like games we played this year. Have you heard of Loco Cycle? I bought it. I haven't played it yet because I'm trying to finish this fucking Final Fantasy game. On how I bought it as soon as they just showed a little bit of it and talked about the premise.
okay.
It's a trauma movie game. Like it's a video game that's kind of like a trauma movie, and they got a bunch of trauma actors.
So it's not that beat 'em up that they did in the
No, it's not like the trauma game. It's a video game
that's like a trauma.
that's
movie.
like a trauma movie.
Okay, we're
you're-
talking like
You're a sentient motorcycle.
we're talking like 90s trauma movies.
Not like a splatter
Tromeo
one, just
kinda?
like a bad, like real low budget comedy.
So like an 80s trauma movie.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Like Lloyd Kaufman has Tom Savini's in it.
Oh,
James
wow.
Gunn's in it.
Okay.
But the
We're
premise,
talking like a Nukem High kind of deal, though. Right?
kind of
Like
yeah, but it's not
level
really a
of-
splattery
Yeah, I guess Nukem High got a
horror.
little.
You know, it's
yeah.
not like that part of trauma. But
Yeah.
it's just like the presentation is like a drama movie. We'll
Okay.
say. You're a sentient motorcycle, and you got to get to a bike rally across the country or whatever. You become sentient because of a lightning, but some shit I don't know. And there's this other motorcycle trying
Sounds
to track
like
you down.
trauma.
But
I don't know.
the way you fight is the mechanic. The mechanic that was working on you when the lightning struck got his pants leg stuck in the motorcycle. So the entire game, you're dragging this dude behind you, and you're like hitting like enemies with him and shit.
Is he alive?
Yeah, he's totally
You're
alive.
not just
the whole
dragging
time.
your corpse around.
Yeah,
Like, okay.
no, he's totally alive.
and he's fine with all this.
Oh yeah.
All right.
It looks so stupid, but so well presented as like a trauma movie that I was like, oh yeah, $7
Oh,
sold.
God.
Like the one mission is it's like an on-rail shooter thing where you're flying through the air, but the background is just flyover stock footage of like state cities. Like it's not. It's just plays in the background. You can tell it's just stock footage.
Uh-huh.
Like it's like the opening of Family Matters and shit.
Oh my God.
As you fly through the air.
Oh, that's so good.
Oh yeah. This Final Fantasy game is kicking my. I don't want to say that because I don't want to say that I'm not enjoying it, because I am. But goddamn, whoever developed that with Square Enix, but whoever made the decisions, it's not an RPG. It is a theme park of minigames.
Oh.
Everything outside of combat is a minigame in this game. It's so padded.
So they basically were just trying to stretch out the playtime.
Yeah, and like...
Because, I mean, there are a lot of people who will judge a game based on how long it takes to play through it.
Right,
but...
and I'll say, like... The minigames are fun, for the most part. But there's so many of them that, like... The shit that you... That's kind of like tolerate in a game, like... Cutscenes that, like... Are animated that you're like, I know what, like, they're just going to say thanks and we're going to have to go through a conversation. I'm just going to skip it. I know what's going to happen. I'm skipping a lot of, like, that shit because I know nothing's going to pop up. But, like, goddamn, it's crazy. The whole game, there's, like, shit laying on the ground that you can pick up for crafting because every game has to have that. But there's this, I have to get these mushrooms. And those are a minigame to get all the mushrooms. And then every time you gotta do another fucking every time you gotta find these relic seeds, another minigame. It is incessant. It's crazy. But like I'm like the actual like these characters that I've liked for, fucking however long it's been, 25 years or whatever. Like that shit's like the character moments are really
probably 30.
30 almost? 97? Yeah, almost 30 years.
Almost 30
97,
years.
right?
Wow.
Like, the characters are so damn likable that, like, I've reached my breaking point for sure, and I am in the last chapter.
Like, you're ready for it to be done.
Yes, I've been ready for it to be done for about 10 hours of game time now.
That's a little rough.
Because I got to the point where I'm like, well, the check marks on this last area aren't checked, and they're checked in all the other ones. So I'm going to speed run this shit. But, goddamn, like...
I do wish crafting would just fuck off.
Yes.
For the most part.
Yes, so do I. All these mini systems, like, why? There's just shit... This one, I at least will give them credit for actually showing something on the ground for me to pick up. Whereas in Final Fantasy 16, it was just, like, a little blue dot, like, on the ground. And you never know what you're picking up. And, like... Crafting never mattered in that game, so like at least like in 7 there's a thing there that I can see.
See, I'm fine with light crafting, but I hate that all your equipment fucking breaks.
Yes.
Then you gotta go out and you gotta find the materials to repair it. And it's never a lengthy repair, like it fucking breaks again, and if you've been playing a game long enough, you just have a ton of that shit on hand, so it doesn't matter.
Like when you're playing Minecraft and you have your whole bars
Yeah.
mining picks.
Yeah. But
I don't even mind it in Minecraft because that's like the point, but like
yeah,
Well, that's
when
the
it's
thing, yeah. If it's,
shoehorned
like,
in
the
every
major-
single fucking single player game nowadays,
Yeah.
it's ridiculous.
Like if it's the major gameplay loop to craft stuff,
Yeah.
I'm fine with that being...
right, if it's interesting and shit.
Yeah.
and it'll go beyond just like repair your equipment. Well, now you need specific ingredients for potions. I know, like, ESO did that shit. And if you're an early game player, it is absolutely miserable. If you've played a couple years, your crafting bag is just ridiculously full of that stuff. Or you have enough gold, just go out and buy it from someone.
Yeah.
But it is... survival mechanics in general, I am very over.
Same. And like
If I want to play a survival game, okay.
Yeah.
But every
absolutely.
game doesn't need to be a survival game.
Yeah.
especially because like it's not. I'm not. Very rarely has there been a game where those systems like feel realistic. Like, oh, you got
it always does kind of feel like kind of clutched together.
yeah,
and
like
tacked
in
on.
Minecraft. Oh, you got to eat. But like, it's just like I just got to make sure I have these things to make sure that bar fills back up. It doesn't feel like my character is hungry.
Yeah.
You know, it's never implemented in a way where I'm like Metal Gear Solid 3. like you had to fucking eat, and it felt like Snake was hungry.
Yeah.
You had to kill animals and eat and shit. Like it's never that thought out.
Uh-huh.
It's always just like, oh, this bar is going down, so go deal with it, and then go deal with that.
It's
that
just giving
bar.
you a thing to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fuck. Yeah, I am after going back to back on these two Final Fantasy games. I am not looking forward to anything long for a while. Like I'm loving games right now. I'm all in. But goddamn, I'm ready to play some short shit.
I got some short games we could get into.
Ooh, nice.
Are we talking?
it's time.
Okay, I
That
got
is
it.
that is
I will just mention.
segue so good, Doug and I didn't know what to do.
Yeah. Oh, fuck. Yeah. Okay. All right. Fucking right on. Realization dawn.
Yeah.
Very, very well done.
Spark, take a look at this subspace news article. Some fool blew his own face off while cleaning a loaded phaser. Fascinating, Captain. Was it someone aboard the Enterprise? No, Spark, it happened in Florida.
It's been a while since we called out a segue on this show. Just spoiled the hell out of it. There is a caveat to UFO 50 that may go away eventually, but for now, it's only available on Steam as far as I'm aware. Which sucks because the system requirements are higher than you would think it is. My MacBook, I mean, it's not supported under Linux or Mac either. It's just for Windows.
Yeah.
So my MacBook, which is dual booting Windows 10, will run it, but it's sluggish.
Playable on Steam Deck, though.
Oh yeah, totally. It works great on Steam Deck by all accounts.
Cool.
Yeah, that's the only thing that I don't like about it, because I do kind of want to just be able to like sit on my couch with a controller.
Yeah.
I'll figure something out. Like that over on top of the Xbox over there there's like a little Intel Nook.
Yeah.
Those won't run it either. It's slow.
She was going ham
Stream
on that
it.
shoe.
Can you stream it from your...
I could stream it, but a lot of games are really actiony, and I'm worried that the
yeah.
latency will be
Yeah.
too much. There's games that you could play though. There's a couple of like RPGs with like turn-based combat in it. They're like legitimately like as long as like an 8-bit RPG. Crazy. Let's play games.
All right. Our headlines this week, they come from Florida, Nebraska, and Missouri.
Oh, fuck. I don't have any conceptions of Missouri.
Branson.
Headline number 1. Man who impersonated police officer and tampered with sex doll during transport gets jail time.
Tampered with. Yeah, he fucked that thing.
Yeah, I'm struggling to come up with any other thing that you could describe as tampering with a sex doll. I don't know. He broke the seal.
Just saying. Just over the sex doll's mouth.
Tampering.
Just saying, guys, that, we took this as evidence for, DNA. If there's 2 DNA samples, just disregard the one that's similar to mine. She looks so good laying there.
I just had to fuck that sex doll. Y'all understand, right? You get me.
If you were alone in the back of that transport with this princess...
For an hour! You were putting me back there for an hour with Lolita.
You'd have fucked that inanimate object, too.
Lonnie.
Don't tell me.
Her name's Lonnie.
Lonnie?
Bobby, I saw the way you were looking at it when it was going in there.
Yeah, you watched. I know you watched.
Now, just because I got to her first, don't get sore.
Yep. I may have been first, but don't need to be last.
She's fair game. She ain't real. She ain't got no feelings.
Yeah. Fake girls can't say no, Bobby.
Just throw a used sex toy on the table. Name him first, but I ain't gonna be last.
Oh, fuck. Grease them up, boys.
Headline number 2. Elementary school principal arrested after throwing an alcohol-fueled party with over 100 kids dressed in matching t-shirts.
Did he buy T-shirts for everybody?
Oh, is that she?
Did she buy T-shirts for everybody?
I don't know.
I'm real
Were
confused
they-
about this.
Kids, not elementary school kids.
They were elementary school.
Oh my
kids.
god!
What?
Let's get fucking ripped, Mrs.
They found them drinking.
Oh god, it's Mrs. Gringold's first grade class. Everybody say yeah!
How was your day at school, honey? Oh, we all tied one on.
Shit face mom!
Timmy threw up all over.
Final headline.
Somebody fucked a sex toy.
Judge sentences a woman to prison after using Takis to set fire to a home with 3 people inside it.
They're flammable.
They're flammable.
Just had my first Taki at D&D last time.
Turns out mouths are flammable too. Takis are no joke.
They were Cool Ranch.
Oh, they make Cool Ranch Takis.
Yeah.
All right, I need
The
to
bag
use some
might
of
still be there.
It's probably there because we only had like a handful.
that. Oh man, I like the idea of Takis, but most of them I can't eat too many. They're too spicy.
I don't like they're rolled up.
No.
No, I like a chip.
Yeah.
It is more effort to eat Takis than
Yeah.
just like Doritos.
Especially when you only use half your teeth.
Yeah, or when you only have half of
Half
them.
of them, yeah. All right, so we had sex doll, alcohol fueled party, Taki fire, Nebraska, Missouri, Florida.
Yep. I believe the Red Meat Babyface
believe.
is our current
I
champion.
believe he is too.
It has
Yep.
been a minute though. So.
I think we started beef last time.
We did. You proclaimed that you're a heel,
Yeah.
which typically not how it happens.
No.
Typically it's
You get out in the ring. Everybody,
Hello, fans of Foulcast.
I'm a bad guy now. You're not supposed to like me anymore.
my conceited ass was
Somebody's clapping for him. He's like, no.
and then after you did that, my conceited ass was just like, I always just assumed I was a baby face, but there was
Yeah, we both were.
all right.
Until I called an audible.
Yeah. All right. Oh boy. Where are they fucking that doll? They're fucking that.
That's the new name of the game.
Yeah, they're fucking that doll.
Where are they fucking that doll?
Where they're fucking that doll in Missouri.
Yeah.
The alcohol
I
party.
don't know, Nebraska.
No, it's in Missouri. Yeah,
You're very confident.
gotta be. The Taki fire is in Nebraska, and then the kids drinking party.
That's Florida.
That's Florida.
Sounds like Bo Jackson over there, like Bono Sports. Red Nose Doll, fucking.
Yes,
If
ma'am.
that ain't in Missouri, I don't know a damn thing. Fucking no dolls.
Just me licking April O'Neil when I was my April O'Neil toy when I was a kid. I know a thing or two about doll fucking.
Bev's like, get in the Missouri corner.
Oh man,
Downstairs next to the slave quarter.
She-Ra, April O'Neil, all of them paint licked clean off the titties.
That's why you got into miniature painting. It's like your penance.
Caught him, stole a Barbie, licked holes in them suckers.
I like that you yada yada. You were like April O'Neil, She-Ra, all of them. We know specific other ones. Eureka.
Yeah.
Was definitely...
No, I didn't.
You probably didn't have a Eureka
Even
toy.
worse, it's like the
Did
Eureka
you?
from Pizza Hut.
That's the Eureka. I think that's the only Eureka toy that probably ever existed. Why was I licking that
I've never
one?
seen another one.
Why was I licking that one when she had a big old hole in the bottom? I was, fucking 3 years old. I didn't
Look,
know what I
if
was
she
doing
ain't got a
anyways.
hole in the bottom, what are you going to do with her?
Lick the paint off.
All right. I'm going to go a very different direction with my guesses. I think the Taki fire happened in Florida.
Ooh.
I think it did. I think
Okay.
it did. Is this the only one that doesn't have anything to do with drugs? Because there was alcohol. What was the last one? Oh, it was the sex
The
doll.
sex doll.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, the sex doll.
What landed the sex doll in the paddy wagon is my question.
I mean, the other choices that I make are a formality because we chose different Floridas. So either I've won or lost at this point. But I'm going to disagree. I don't think that the sex doll happened in Missouri. I think that was Nebraska.
Okay.
Because if you're in Nebraska, what else are you going to do? That's
Yeah.
all I'm saying.
Yeah.
So, Missouri at least has St. Louis, right? Like, they got Branson, but they also have
They
St.
do.
Louis. There's
Yeah.
things to
That's
do.
where Red Fox. Well, yeah, that's where Red Fox is from.
That's where Dracula's from. Band
Nice.
Dracula.
Very nice. Oh, that's another thing about Creature Commandos.
Hmm.
Go Go Bordello. Music all over it.
Oh,
Their theme
shit.
Song,
That's
American
awesome.
Wedding and shit.
That is great.
Well done.
And then I guess that means the last one was in, I'm going to say Branson specifically, but we probably don't know that for sure.
The kitty party was in
The
Branson.
kitty
Missouri.
party was in Branson at the Branson Convention Center.
All right, gentlemen. Our winner and still champion, Red Meat Babyface.
Nah.
Florida was the only one you got right.
So it was in
Yeah.
Nebraska.
Nebraska was the sex
How
doll.
close is Missouri to Nebraska?
Not
Oh.
very, I don't think.
No, Missouri's down lower than Nebraska's
Yeah.
up top.
Shawty got low,
Yeah, she did.
Nebraska.
I think we're glossing over. I mean, I why was the sex doll evidence to begin? Like, what crime happened?
Missouri and Nebraska actually do share a border,
Uh-huh,
but just
okay.
like at the corner, like kissing cousins.
They were Missouri cops trying to transport that thing across state lines because it's illegal to fuck a sex doll in Missouri, but they really wanted it, and the one cop just couldn't wait till they crossed the line.
Well, fuck. Oklahoma's trying to outlaw porn, so.
Yeah. Do you think the sex doll was even involved in the crime, or they were just like, yeah, bag that up too?
Yeah, fuck it. It was just there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
5 cops just standing around rubbing their hands. Yeah. You think that thing sniffed any coke? Take it into evidence. We'll find out.
Yeah, we'll find out. Oh, man. I was so sure the Takis were in Florida.
Well, gentlemen, brings us to the joke of the week.
All right.
Here, in its natural habitat, on a tiny islet off the coast of Belgium, we observe the majestic and elusive joke of the week.
Unfortunately, we are not sponsored for this one, but what does Jeff Bezos do before bedtime? What does Jeff Bezos do before bedtime?
What has he done that's even remotely funny?
Nothing really.
Remotely good? Motherfucker had Lord of the Rings at his disposal and he couldn't put something interesting together.
Motherfucker potentially has literally anything at his
Yeah,
disposal with the
yeah.
amount of money he has.
Yeah,
Can't
true.
put anything interesting together.
I don't know. What does he do before bedtime?
He puts his pajamas on.
Ouch.
Pajamas on.
That one's bad.
I'm not embarrassed that it took me a while to get it because it's bad.
I don't know what you guys are talking about.
Pajamas on, Doug.
Pajamas on.
They're leaving money on the table, not having an outlet where they just sell pajamas.
Because he runs Amazon.
Yep.
Pajamas on.
We all know what he does. We
Yeah.
know what he. I'm not gonna give you a laugh on him. Fuck.
All right, everybody, put your pajamas on. We'll see you another time.
But you cannot fuck around with...
You're fired, Adam. You're all washed up in this business.